Hello and welcome to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. Hope y'all are doing well. Um, Let me bring in my sidekick, Mr. Wolfman here. Oh, he's got just regular Ryan on his thing today.
Just regular Ryan.
Just plain old shop building, lumber, nail driving Ryan. So, it's looking good though, buddy. I know it's rough, but it's looking good. It's really
Thanks.
looking. So let me bring in some of my other peeps that showed up here. I got Mr. Rob Schuster. How you doing today, Rob? Good to see you.
Doing good. I got home just in time for the show. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it.
Okay. Well, like I say, I send the link, and if you can, fine. If you can't, that's okay too. But I'm glad you made it just in time. And we got Mr. Paul Corliss over here. How you doing, Paul?
Good. How's everybody else?
We're all doing pretty good, I think. And I've got one more guy here. Yeah, see if anybody remembers this guy. He's from way back in the day.
Hello.
We're getting the band back together. How you doing?
Doing good.
Haven't seen you in a long time, brother.
Good to be here.
Good to see you. Well, let's real quick. Let's get an update on the shop. Ryan, you got any news since the photo you posted yesterday?
Yeah, I was out there today working and framed in a door and got most of the lumber up on the front. And so hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, the front will be all ready for the trim work to start. And ladders are killing me.
Yeah. I know, but it's going to be so worth it when you get it all done. It's just going to be fantastic. And tell everybody again what size that thing's going to be.
It's a 30 by 50.
30 by 50
with 12-foot sidewalls.
Ooh, yeah. Nice.
So
it's going to be
pretty
nice.
Sizable.
And I hear you're going to have a scoreboard in there. Is there any truth to that?
Oh yeah. There's a nice 16-foot long scoreboard that's going to show up in there.
I cannot wait to see that thing hanging in there. That's going to make the whole thing. Keep track of penalties.
What'll be good is
and
when I can get it to work. Always. I don't know if the penalties I get from my wife. I don't know if I can count that high.
Yeah,
so I might have to add some zeros to the scoreboard.
All right. Well, we're just doing a regular old, Q&A session, panel discussion type thing. So we'll just talk about CNC stuff, I guess. Anybody got any exciting thing they're doing with their CNC that they want to talk about? Rob, you got any? See you smile there. You got any drum stuff going on you can talk about, or is it?
I'm making some lugs for the drum, and it's kind of funny. I built 2 jigs to hold the parts while I'm doing different things to them. So I got in my mind, I'm more happy making jigs to make stuff than actually I'm making this stuff in the end. I love making tools and stuff like that. But
yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I like, it's like you dream up what kind of tool you need to make the job work or go easier, and you design it, and then you cut it on the CNC and you put it together and everything, and then it's kind of like, the rest isn't as exciting, I think, as making the fixture sometime.
I spent last weekend trying to make this work on the rotary because it's around. The lug it's round, and I spent a lot of time writing my own G code, getting it just right, and then I realized, I could it's not that tall. I could stand it up on the regular CNC and just cut them much faster that way. So I converted from the rotary just regular my old CNC and much faster. So,
just that old plain old CNC. Oh, that's funny. How about you, Paul? You got anything going on that Onefinity?
Oh, I just been playing around with the box joint gadget. I figured out how to work that, and it's fun just taking scrap pieces of plywood and making a box just because I can. And
yeah.
that's a neat little gadget.
It is. It's a really neat little gadget. And it works really well, I found anyway.
It does. I was really amazed how tight of a joint you can get with that thing without even trying.
All right. And how about you, Juan? Tell us about your CNC adventures of late.
Well, I mean, other than get to work with them every day, nothing really as far as my whole transition from Texas to here, still going on. So I still have everything in storage and stuff like that. The only thing I do have available right now is a little laser that I've been playing with,
Yeah.
But,
And you've been making some, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've been making some killer, what is it? Lithophanes? I don't know how you say it, but.
Yeah, some lithophanes on the 3D printer.
Yeah.
We make some lithophanes and just got hooked on to now that I got the laser, those little, what do they call it? The white Norton tiles or something like that.
Oh,
those are really fun. Yeah. I just started on them and they got me hooked.
Yeah, I've got a little or tour. You can maybe see the enclosure right behind me here over my shoulder. And I bought that in the wintertime. And of course I went to, let's see, where was it? Lowe's or Home Depot one. I think it was Home Depot, and bought a case of 2 different size tiles and played around with them. So I made a few things. I'm still trying to dial it in, but I haven't, once it got warm, then I need to get where I can get outside. And I just bought it for, to have something to do during the boring winter months.
I hear you.
But yeah, that's a lot of fun playing with those tiles.
It is.
But let me, we're just checking. I guess Ryan there's catching the questions over there. Well, I don't have any projects at all to talk about like usual. I never really do any projects, but I have been doing some serious moving around in my shop. In fact, I'm pretty tired today because yesterday and today, and I still got probably one more day of it, moving stuff around. I totally disassembled my Gatton CNC. It's just, I have way too many CNCs out there in the garage and needed to make some room. And I thought, well, of all the ones I have, that's probably the one I use the least that has a, size footprint. So I decided to just disassemble it, stuff all the parts and everything. I didn't take every last screw out, but broke it down into pieces where I could handle them and then move them over to, my storage building and stuff. So anyway, that's really all the news I have. Have we got any questions over there? I see looks like you got a couple of them started already. Raymond wants to know, do you have an active channel?
I don't. Not, at least not yet anyway.
Okay. You still have your old channel though, don't you?
I do. It's still up. Just took all my videos down and.
Oh, you took everything down? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to put anything on there.
Okay. Harry says some of the CNCs allow. Oh, this is a real question here. Some of the CNCs allow for the workpiece to be mounted vertical rather than flat. This lets you do the pins on the dovetails. Does anyone here mount the workpiece vertically for joints? Anybody want to tackle that one? Because I've got my own opinion on
I'll chime in.
Doing dovetails with a CNC, and it's usually not popular. So,
I haven't done dovetails, but I do have a big flat vise on the front of mine that I used for jigs. Speaking of jigs, but I've used a jig to drill into things for, well, lugs. Like I've done in the past, I tried making drum lugs and have to drill in exact perfect center. And I built a little jig that holds it on the vertical. And I did a video on that about a year ago. Go to my site. But just a quick 1 or 2 minute video where I was going back and forth and just twist the clamp real quick, drill it, back out, and it was better than 15 seconds. I was drilling a hole perfect. So I don't know, but yeah, I've done that, but I've never done dovetails. But I use it for every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. What about anybody else? Has anybody else tried to do dovetails or maybe even box joints with the CNC?
I haven't tried it yet, but somebody that does a really cool job of that stuff is Frank Hogarth. He's done some really cool like joinery for the ends and all that. I think on the video that he put up last week or so, might have been last week, he did one that was basically looked like cat noses were the joints on the end of the pieces, and it was pretty cool.
That guy is a master. He does so many awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very creative.
He really thinks outside the box. But yeah, as far as doing dovetails with a CNC, I usually have the answer that nobody wants to hear because I always say just go buy a dovetail jig. I just, I'm sorry. I just feel like the CNC isn't the right machine for the job every single time. And I think you can do them much faster. I know I can do them much faster with the dovetail jig. So unless you're doing something special that you don't have the template for or something, I can kind of see that. But I don't know. Do what you want. If you want to set up the thing on the end of the table and do it, doesn't matter to me. But I would use a dovetail jig just to do the standard dovetails. Let's see here. Okay. Hey, that's Jerry Brown. Spindle TV has awesome video on doing dovetails that it is very detailed to do it right. Yeah. That's kind of my thinking. I'm thinking you have to spend so much more time to get everything perfect trying to do it on a CNC. Whereas after you've used a regular dovetail jig in a handheld router of more than twice, you get really good at it without a lot of fussing around to get it set up. So, that's just my thoughts. What do I know? Let's see here. Brooks Martin says, okay, Dave, what's the panel's thoughts on wood fillers? What do you use, Rob, if you have a spot on your drum? Do you use resin or epoxy resin or something to fill it, or some kind of?
I've used a lot of things. Epoxy for the drums usually, but I use that plastic wood brand wood filler sometimes. If you've seen how I do my painting, I always cover it with that plastic wood filler, do the carve, paint, then sand it back off. And that's kind of my alternative to Aura Mask. I use that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And it works really well.
Yeah.
That's a cool method, I think. Anybody else? What about wood fillers?
Glue and sawdust.
If that's what I was gonna say, wood and sawdust, unless I'm gonna paint it, and then I just use like spackling and sand it down and paint it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a regular finish, just glue and sawdust.
I tried epoxy and sawdust, and no, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't even sound good. Yeah, I can see that getting really messy really quick with that. What about you, Juan? You got any secrets with wood filler?
No, I've used the same brand Rob just mentioned. I think the one I had on hand at the time is there's one that's a certain color. I think it's pink in color. You put it on, once it dries up, it dries up like the wood tint, and that's about it. It's nothing special.
Yeah. I'm usually just a glue. Well, either whatever that one brand, I don't even know what it is. It might be is it Minwax that makes a wood filler? It's in a can about that color, I think. But anyway, either that or usually I try to just some glue and sawdust first to try to hide whatever it is I'm trying to hide. But let's look over here and see what else is. Oh, before I forget, let me I'm slacking on the job here. Tonight, we do our giveaway. Thanks to let me get over here and hit the Cody from Cadence Manufacturing and Design sponsors our giveaway every Saturday night. And tonight, if you want to get in on the drawing that we'll be doing a little bit later, you'll want to put #skinny in the comments. And that will be for one of these babies right here. So tapered ball nose. That will be given away a little later tonight. And I will go ahead and, while I'm thinking about it, get the giveaway tool set up so it can be collecting your entries there. Okay. All right. Yeah, it jumped up when I started that up. So we'll do that giveaway here in a little bit. All right. Anything else going on over here? A bunch of #skinnies. Everybody getting in on
a bunch
that.
of people getting in. And you only got to do it one time. If you do it multiple times, the computer's only going to pick up one of your entries. So
right. Yeah, it'll weed it
bother
out
trying to do it a bunch of times.
So that it only picks one. I think I saw did I see Cody over here in the
Yeah, Cody's over there.
Okay. Well, Cody, since you're in the chat, I wanted to ask you the question that everybody's thinking about now. When is the new 60-degree downshear bit's going to be out? They're the talk of the town, I think.
I thought you were going to ask if his pre-sale is over already again, which I would assume it is. I forgot to order.
Yeah, they probably went quick.
Yeah, I actually thought today was Friday.
Yeah. Some days are like that. Half the time I don't know what day it is, but let's see, who else was I looking for? I saw Jerry Brown post a thing earlier. I think he nailed one of those in the pre-sale, got the notification and got one of those. But and also I want to give Jerry Brown a big shout out too. If you haven't, I hadn't seen him on there today, but yesterday he did. Mainly it's one big long live stream, and then he did another shorter one. But he purchased a Revolution rotary axis machine from Bob CNC, and he was doing a live putting it together. So that was kind of fun to watch. I was watching that for quite a while, and I think his correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, but I think his live stream went about, let's see, was it 3 hours or 4 hours? I can't remember. But anyway, I couldn't hang because it got too late for me. So I went to bed and I got up this morning, got a cup of coffee. And first thing I did was go to that live stream and then move the thing all the way to the end so I could see how far he got. and he's still got a little ways to go. So I was telling him, how long did it take you to put yours together, Ryan? Do you remember?
I want to say 8 to 10 hours.
Okay, so you were much faster than me too, because I think mine took somewhere between 15 and 18 hours over 3 or 4 or 5 days, something like that. Because there is a ton of parts, just a ton of parts. But it was fun watching Jerry do it, because I'm like, yeah, hey, let's see if you get this done in a live stream. It's gonna be a marathon if he does. So. But yeah, that's I did a bunch of hashtag genies over there. All right.
Cody responded to you here.
Okay. As soon as the beta testing is done, it'll go into production. Current manufacturing time is about 4 weeks. Okay. All righty. Any, do you know, Cody, how many will be in that first run? Will it be about 200 or so? Because those things go like hotcakes, all of them. Harry's got a thing. He says, there are a bunch of us in Missouri. We all ought to meet up at Bob's and do the Gatton show from there. Yeah, we could do that. I also noticed too that Bob Wood, I don't know if he's out there in the chat tonight. He watches a lot, but he had a video where he was, what do you call it? Parasailing or paragliding or something, where he has that big thing and he runs and jumps off a hill or something like that. Went flying. I forget what you call it, but yeah, he's been wanting to do that. Oh, Cody says he's still got some groovy genies left.
Oh yeah,
So that's
I'll get on there as soon as
well, you might want to get it now, because they might not be left by the time the show ends.
Yeah, well, keep one aside for me, Cody.
Cody says he's going for 500 pieces on the first lot. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Jerry says he's going to do it tonight. Not sleeping until it's done. Ooh. That's a bold statement right there.
That's big talk there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. He was, and I got to tell you, if for no other reason you need to go, I shouldn't say this, but I got to razz Jerry. I think he's got a tough skin. He can take this, but you need to go watch that live stream if for no other reason to check out the shorts he's wearing. It's just awesome. Makes the show. It was pretty funny. Let's see here. Cody, when can we pre-order it? Okay, we've already answered that, I guess, about 6 weeks or so. Was there another question?
He won't do any pre-orders until he has them in hand.
Okay, yeah. David Pingle says, Rob, when you use the wood filler, I think you add water. How wet do you want it?
Think about when you're a little kid and you did the finger paint stuff. That's about it. Like pancake batter, maybe a little thinner than that. Doesn't take much. And I even did it with joint compound, and that works good for most things. But if you're doing something really detailed, really fine detail, then that wood filler works better. But if you're doing text that's like an inch tall, joint compound works fine. But that plastic wood's just a little bit better. But so I use both. Depends on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you've got at least one video I know of about that, don't you?
Yeah, one with the wood filler, and I did a follow-up then.
Yeah, the cat shorts were worth the price of admission to that live stream, I'm telling you. So, that was fun. Will you be wearing those again tonight when you do that, Jerry? Or that was funny.
Tonight's probably the llama shorts.
When clickbait don't work no more.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking through the comments here. I don't see any other questions here. I think we've got Annie B says, how's the tiny house going? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the more recent, and I say more recent, it's still been over a year, when I was getting ready to do the square drop build, you may or may not know, I had a heart attack right after I bought that trailer and started buying the axles and the wheels and stuff like that I was going to do. And then, of course, that put me out of pocket for quite some time. I still got all the stuff, so I may finish it one day, but I'm not going to finish it with the price of lumber, what it is right now. So I don't, again, like I always tell people, it's something that I wanted to build, not something I needed to build. And there's a big difference. So back when I thought I could probably build one in, for probably $3,000 or less. And now I don't think I could with the price of lumber and all that kind of stuff. So it's on the back burner, but I still have the trailer and I bought some larger tires and a heavier duty axle and stuff like that. And it won't go anywhere. It's already bought. So that's about all I can say about that. Stay tuned. If you watch my channel, you'll see that I go from jump around, I'll try a lot of different things. That's not unusual for my channel at all to see different things on the channel. I probably drive my subscribers nuts because they just recycle, get a subscriber and then a couple months later, like, what the heck is this guy doing? I didn't subscribe for this. And so
squirrel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like right now I'm doing a bunch of tutorials for that Design Spark software. And I'm really liking that, but I'm wanting to do that not only to help show people how to use it, because it's free and it's unlike Fusion 360, you don't have to be online to use it, and the learning curve is just super easy. I've done I think about 8 tutorials now. Of course, the videos are pretty wimpy as far as the number of views, but the people that are watching them are getting something out of them and learning how to use it. So that's the main thing. And I got something coming up that I'm wanting to make, and so I will be using that to design that. So that's another big reason why I'm so keen on that software. And if you haven't got it, I don't think I have a link in this video. I usually put them in the other videos. But if you haven't ever heard of it, because that's the way I was. When somebody mentioned probably 3 or 4 months ago now, I hadn't even heard of this stuff. And then when I tried it, I thought, holy cow, this is great stuff for free. And so, if you're like that and you haven't heard of it, you're looking for a good software that you can create 3D models, whether it be to run stuff on your CNC router, or if you're into 3D printing, it's perfect for that kind of stuff. So like I said, I don't think I have a link down below, but just go Google Design Spark Mechanical and it'll take you right to it. And it's absolutely free. And like I said, you don't have to be online to use it, stuff like that. I know I sound probably like a Design Spark salesman or something, but it's just that I like the stuff, and it's free is always the right price, I think. So, Paul, have you, I know you commented on that last video. Have you done any of those things and drawn along with the PDF file and stuff?
Yes. I try and follow you as you're doing it. And for me, that's about the easiest way, is just to kind of follow it, pause you and follow along. And it's a neat, I tried Fusion 360 and I'm not smart enough to do Fusion 360, but I've been doing okay following you along with your tutorials.
Okay, well, good.
I mean, it's learning a new software in a 75-year-old mind, but it seems to be coming along.
Well, I think that was my problem with Fusion 360 is, I mean, I think the biggest problem I have is I've been a SolidWorks user for so many years, and SolidWorks is not Fusion 360. It's actually better in my opinion, but I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with me on that. But when you draw in SolidWorks and then you try to make the switch and go to Fusion 360, you're already set in your ways. I think I would have done better if I had been brand new and not ever used Fusion 360 and then tried to go through the tutorials and stuff with it. But I have tried it, I don't know how many different times, and every time I'm like, nah, I don't like this. I've never been a fan of Autodesk products back when they had, the old AutoCAD 12 and even what was the other one? AutoCAD Inventor. One of the places I worked at before I just stopped working, they had two guys. I was the SolidWorks guy, and then the other guy was the AutoCAD Inventor guy. So we would get, different companies would send us different drawings, and he was really good at AutoCAD Inventor, but he didn't know nothing about SolidWorks, and kind of vice versa. But
my whole problem has been with the CNC and the 3D printer and the different softwares is when I worked, I didn't do anything on a computer that involved a 3D environment. And so all my learning, I had to not only learn the software, but to wrap my mind around a 3D environment. And I think that's been one of the hardest things. And really, Mark Lindsay, with his help in Vector, has probably helped me the most. And then once you can comprehend what the 3D environment is, then it's easier to go from one program to another, I think. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see, Landis snuck a question in here. He says, Dave, on your 3D printer, does the Z limit switch bracket rest on top of the foot rail? I'm having a little trouble getting enough adjustment to lower the bed. I think now, Juan, you have an Ender 3, don't you?
I do.
And I think Ryan has one as well. I think the and I'm going from memory, so you know how that is with me. But I think when I first set that thing up, the very first time I set it, I think I had that limit switch too low, and it couldn't make it. It couldn't, because it would hit the bed. So I had to loosen it up and slide it up just a hair.
Yeah, you should have plenty of travel to go up and down. I think it just goes up and down the channel of the gantry arm or the gantry post.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Because you got to have some room for
it's up a little while.
You got to have room for your bed to go up and down for adjustment too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would just try loosening it up and just try to slide it up just a smidgen.
I want to say I think the directions originally said that it was supposed to be like an inch up from that bottom rail. I can't remember for sure though, but that was probably about what mine is.
Okay. Hope that helps, Landis. Jeff Light says, what's the recommended dust collection system size for your CNC? Well, are you talking about a Gatton CNC or just any CNC in general, really? I have a 2 horsepower. It's a Reliant brand. It's an old one. And I run a 4-inch PVC and then the 4-inch flexible hose with mine. And it does a pretty good job. But I don't know as far as recommended. You need something pretty good. You can, a lot of people will use shop vacs and stuff, but a lot of times they'll have trouble keeping up because there's a big difference between a shop vac and a dust collection.
I have a 2 horsepower jet, but I don't use that on my CNC because it makes a lot of noise. And so I bought a Sears quiet vac. It's a lot quieter than a regular shop vac, and I run it through one of those Home Depot separators, and it does an adequate job. I don't know now if I was cutting MDF a lot, I don't know how it would keep up, but for what I cut on plywood and hardwood, it seems to do fine.
Yeah, I don't know that anything works great with MDF. That stuff is so nasty. It sneaks out and gets all over everything, regardless of
it does
dust collection. But I don't know if those answers help you or not, Jeff. But the important thing is you're probably going to need something. Get what you can, even if it's nothing more than a shop vac. I have used a shop vac on a smaller CNC for many years before I, got a bigger CNC. But
I have a modified Harbor Freight 2 horsepower, and I like it. It does good. Same setup as Dave. Sounds like 4-inch PVC and 4-inch flexible hose.
Mm-hmm. And some people run the different diameter things. I kind of think 4-inch is, just from what I have used in the past, I think a 4-inch hose is probably at least what you want, if not bigger. And again, it depends on how big your CNC is and what you're using it for and all that. If you got a big old hoss, you may want to go with a 6-inch flex hose.
Mine has enough power. I guarantee it will suck up the end of the little rubber clamp on the end of your clamps. And this morning I had to go searching through the the dust thing to pull that back out because I wasn't going to lose it. So
yeah. Okay. Peter Van Vliet, I guess, says, do you use a laser head like JTech on your CNC? If so, what do you do for smoke collection and venting? You have a JTech, don't you, Rob? Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Do you have another kind of laser?
No laser. I always talk about it. It's probably why you get the idea, but I never go through and actually spend the money.
I wonder who I'm thinking about since it's not you. I have a JTech, and I've had another cheaper Amazon thing. I think it was called the Ox laser.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm running those type of lasers, I'm in my garage, so the smoke collection and venting is not a problem because I just have either a window open with a fan, blowing out, or I have my garage door wide open, and you can smell it, but it's not going to put out so much that it's going to overtake you or something.
Wasn't it
So-
Alan Cray that would use the JTech on his?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Alan
I knew it was
Kreifels.
one of those
Mhm.
crazy Linux guys, Alan. There's Alan Kreifels, I think, is the one that uses.
I have an Ox on mine, but I don't use it for anything big. I usually just use it for signature on my pieces, because it's too slow to do anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
But I usually, because it's such a small thing, I mean, it's like an inch around or so, inch and a half around. I didn't do any kind of venting or anything like that for it, but
Yeah.
um,
Now, Peter, we were
Like
talking
video.
about Juan mentioned he got a laser and is playing around with the ceramic tile and stuff, and then I've got an O'Tour laser. Let's see, what's it called? Laser Master Pro 2, I think, right back here. And this is a home built plywood enclosure. And if you look, well, let me just do this real quickly. If you look close, you can see this black hose. I have an inline fan with a hole coming out there, and then that hose runs down. And if I move your comment here, you can see how the hose is right here connected to a piece of plywood. And since that laser's in the house, it will stink up the house and get it smoky in here. So I raise the window up and stick that board in the window, then pull it back down. And that's how I vent the fumes for when I'm running one in the house. But that's really it's still a diode laser, but it's different than the other stuff, the little JTechs and stuff, because those are going to be really slow running on your CNC. Whereas those are a lot quicker. And I don't know if that helped answer your question or not, but hopefully it did. Let's see here. Lou says, what is the best value for a 3D printer?
Ender 3, in my opinion.
yep.
Ender 3.
Okay. Well, I guess I could say Ender 3, and that'd make it almost unanimous here. I just
Bang for the buck. It's the best one that's out there.
A lot of people claim it's not they complain about it a lot, but it all has to do with the assembly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like I had and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again real quick. Back in 2018, I bought a Creality CR10 3D printer. First one I'd ever got. Didn't know anything about them. And started playing around with it, had a lot of fun making stuff. And a company saw one of the videos I did about that, so they sent me an Ender 3. And it was a great little printer. But I found out that I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to print with a 3D printer, and I got tired of printing little trinkets and junk stuff. So I ended up not using them for a while, and then I thought, well, you know what? I probably should just get rid of them, because I had in that corner back there, I had a big stack of filament, and you name it, I had it. But anyway, I found a guy that had kind of a printer farm, so I sold him both of those printers and all the stuff I had. Okay, well, now fast forward to this year, I kind of got the bug to do a 3D print, because I could start thinking of useful things to make with a 3D printer. And so I thought, well, what do I want to get? And then I thought, well, what the heck? I'm going to get an Ender 3, because I'd already had a good experience with the one I had before. This one was a little bit different. The one I had before had the bed didn't have that thing that would come off where you could flex it to get the thing on. And I found that the Ender 3, the old one, the parts really stuck, and then it was hard to get them off because you couldn't pull it. But this one has a little, I guess it's a PEI sheet or whatever that has binding clips that hold it on. So you just pull it off. Half time, you don't even really have to let it cool that much. You just pull that plate off, flex it like that real quick, and it usually pops right off. But I've never had an issue with getting it to lay down that first few layers. And it's all because I spent a lot of extra time when I first put it together working to get that bed just right. And if you spend the time getting the bed just right, then it'll work good. So what was that I missed you put up there, Ryan? What was a lot of great printers around 300? Okay. Yeah, the Ender 3, I think, I just bought that one, a few months ago, and it was $189, I think. And it's still stock. I haven't done any of the a lot of those guys will get them, and then the first thing they do is spend 3 weeks making all these things, to supposedly make them run better. But I've just left mine pretty much stock, and it works great.
If you're lucky enough to live by a micro center, I think they go as low as $100.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's an in-store only type of a deal, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I got any micro centers. I tell you what, if I was,
I had one in Dallas. Here I'm not in the middle of nowhere right now, but
yeah. I think if I was going to get a second one, and I have thought about it, because there's been times when I'm running something on that one and I'm like, man, I almost wish I had another one where I could be running it at the same time. But I think if I was going to get another one, I'd probably just go get another Ender 3, because they're, of course, the build volume is not as big as on some of them, but for the little stuff I'm doing, it's been plenty big enough for what I'm trying to do.
I'd love to get one of the Prusas, but I don't use my Ender 3 enough to make that worthwhile to get another one.
Yeah, I think Jerry Brown that's out there, I think he bought the Prusa, but he bought it as the kit, because you can get it, I think, for I don't know, I'm not sure what it is now. I think it's around $750 if you buy it and it's a kit where you put it all together yourself, or if you get it and it's mostly put together, or maybe all the way, I don't know, but I think it's about $1,000 if you do that. But they are really nice printers from what I've seen. Everybody I know that has one really likes them, and when they show their prints on social media, they always look really nice. Okay, let's see here. It says, can you recommend a CNC router that can easily work steel or wood plastic composites? Cost is very important, as well as ease of learning and learning the CAD/CAM software. Thank you, Mike.
Not
all
for
right.
steel.
Well, the key word in that comment is steel. You don't want to use a router for steel. If you're going to be working a lot of steel, you need to look into getting a mill. And there's a big difference, right, Juan?
Yes, there is.
Now, for the wood or plastic, routed work fine for that. But and as far as recommending one, there's I have said on this show recently many times, I think right now there's never a better time to get into hobby CNC with the router, because there's just so many cool things out there that weren't around not all that long ago. You know, like the Onefinity that Paul has. Those look like pretty awesome machines. Uh, I had one of the founders from Long Mill on here, Andy Lee. They look like a pretty good machine. In fact, I'm going to go take a look at one of those sometime next week. Not to buy, but just to get to see it in person. So looking forward to that. But yeah, Mike, you may want to rethink the thing if steel is in there, you know, because with a router and even if even though you can cut aluminum with a router, if it's going to be your main focus, I would still look into a mill. That's routers
it could be sheet as well. So plasma might be better suited for what he wants. There's a lot of you got to figure out what he wants to.
Yeah,
he needs to figure out what he wants to cut most of the time.
Yeah, and I can tell you too, because I've had a little mini lathe for steel, a metal mini lathe, and it doesn't work real well in the same shop as equipment you use with wood, because you got to keep things greased up and it's all the time getting a coating of sawdust and all the stuff that floats around in the air and stuff. So it's a pain to try to keep that clean. So that's why you never go to a shop, probably a big shop, and see metalworking mixed in with woodworking. It's usually a separate, maybe in the same building, but it's usually a separate wall and separate room that you'll see that kind of stuff.
My general answer for anybody looking about a new CNC is stay away from belts. Just the screwdriver is, whether it's ball, what's the ball
screws,
ball screw, or Acme threaded rod. Those are so much better than belts, in my opinion. If you don't mind spending time building, the Gatton CNC is the best deal out there. Dave doesn't want to toot his own horn, but I will. And if I was going to buy another one that wasn't a Gatton, I think Onefinity is what I'd probably do if I was going to, but I'm not. But my thoughts.
Yeah, I really like the looks of the Onefinity, but after watching, being in their Facebook group and stuff and seeing a lot of stuff, I think if I was going to order one, I would order just the mechanical parts of it, and I would
get your own controller.
I would build my own controller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the one you get from them is based on a Raspberry Pi, and that's what I have, and it's good, and I haven't had any problems with it. But it's not big; like you can't put a fourth axis on it on a standard controller.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't add a rotary to it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Paul, you could, if you get the proper way to switch it and such like that.
You could disable the Y-axis and use that as your fourth axis. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, you could, this is from Designs by Phil, is Demon CNC.
Hold on there.
This is the rotary switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is the rotary switch for it, and so you can, the way that the outputs and such are, here's the backside of it. You come in with one, and then you can do out to a rotary or to or to the regular CNC and such like that, and it's got a switch on top, so it's a pretty good setup. And he's there's the regular shield for it too. This is for an Arduino Uno, for that style. So, so you can with those, but I had bought this to do my second Z on my Gatton with my Raspberry Pi CNC or controller, and it ended up working a little. This was a little different than what I ended up going with, but So these will get used someday.
Yeah. And, since we're talking about this is something that I'm going to throw out there because I don't know whether I'm sure some people think about it, but there's probably a lot of people that don't think about this. But when you buy a machine from a company and it's a turnkey thing and it's got the controller and maybe it's got homing switches and limit switches and e-stop and all that different kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter whether it's run on Arduino, Raspberry Pi, what. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's got some kind of proprietary thing, like some machines have the thing where everything runs with that pendant that you connect to it and all that. One thing I want folks to understand is no matter what kind of machine you got, if you're not happy with the way you have to control it, that's the easiest part to change. If you've got a good solid chassis, rolling frame, whatever you want to call it, the mechanical parts, you can make that baby run on any kind of controller you want to. It's not that hard. So just throwing that out there. But I've seen a lot of times people will go, man, I really like this machine, but the controller seems to be the weak link. And that's not good. So anyhow, let's see. Have I missed it? Have I got? No. I guess I've got those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any new ones coming in that I missed?
Not yet, but it'd be a good time to remind everybody else that hasn't already entered in the contest to make sure you do hashtag skinny in there and to enter in for the Skinny Jenny.
That's right. Hashtag skinny. We've got, let's see, we got, it looks like 69 folks watching and we've got 42 entries. So lots of room for more entries. So get them in there. Put in hashtag skinny anywhere in the comments. And we will be drawing that here in just a little bit because we're right at an hour here. So we'll start wrapping this up. I saw some comments here that they've done scrolled up
for you.
Yeah, well, I saw some I was going to comment on, but then they've scrolled up since because all the hashtag skinnies are coming back in again. Jerry's talking about he built his own controller kiosk. Yeah, I got one of those too. Here's the one. Juan says what people usually pay to add a laser to their router. You can buy a good standalone unit. Yeah, I agree. I think nowadays and I hate to say this because I like the company JTech. They're a great company and make a good little laser. But as far as trying to add something like that to your CNC, I think you're just better off to just get a little standalone thing like this, and it will do probably a lot more things a lot faster than.
I'm very impressed with one I got. The engraving is actually pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but I have it in an enclosure like you do, but you could very easily take those things out and just put them wherever you want,
Yeah, and they're so light. You can, like if you're trying to do something where you need the height, you just put, they make they have files on Thingiverse where you can 3D print things that stick on the legs to stick them up higher. So like if you're a wood turner or something and you want to put your logo laser burned on the bottom of the bowl or something, it's easy to do with those things. So let's see here. I'm going to scroll down through here. Oh, we got another one here. Roger the Tinker says, have I looked at the hybrid steppers? Well, yeah, as in window shopping, but not a serious look for them because I don't. I haven't. I just don't think I do anything where I really need them. And I'm going to try to stay away from building any more machines, CNC machines anyway. I'll be building some other stuff, but I'm going to try that. I just made some room in my garage by taking one apart. I don't want to start filling it back up again. Russ got a question here. Says, Juan, did you get the 10-watt diode with your laser?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
10 watt.
Now, is that the one where it uses 2 5 watts to create the 10 watt?
I believe so. And they just came out with a 20 watt, which I don't know much about lasers, so I might not be giving the correct information, but I guess there's a difference. Some people claim that it's a 20 watt, 30 watt, but it's really not the real power of the laser, something like that. And this one claims to have 10 watt.
Yeah, I think a lot of times the way they're listed on Amazon, they'll say it's a 20 watt laser, but it's really about a 5-watt laser.
Correct.
The 20 watt is the power it uses, not what it puts out, or something like that. I don't know.
Like that,
so they use that other number to make it sound more impressive.
And the particular one I got did claim to have 10 watts, like power, optical power, or something like that. And I'm actually really impressed with what it does. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of that. Now, have you added an air assist with yours?
I did. I 3D printed my own. Yeah.
Okay. So you're able to cut the thin stuff then, right?
I've cut up to a 1/4 inch. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Let's see. I got one more question here. Cody wants to know, what am I making all that room for? You'll have to stay tuned. That's all I can say, because it's going to take me a minute. It's something I'm going to have to work on the design for. And again, I'm, going to work that in with my Design Spark mechanical software stuff. But I've been watching lots of videos here lately and got an idea for something that I haven't really seen done. I mean, I'm sure somebody's probably done it somewhere, but not being used for what I'm wanting to use it for. And it will not have a stepper motor on it. Might have another kind of motor, but it won't have a stepper motor on it. So anyway, yeah, you just have to stay tuned and see what I come up with. All right, let's give away a Genie bit. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's put this up here one more time. We got 71 watching and 50 entries, so we might get a few more entries. If you want a chance at winning this beautiful skinny Genie right here, tapered ball nose, put in hashtag skinny in the comments, and we are fixing to draw us a winner. Let me go ahead and get the hadn't even shared the screen yet. Come on, Dave. There we go. So there it is. We've got 50 entries. We'll give y'all another minute or two, and then we will give that sucker away. What in the world is... Mark says a 3D sausage printer. I'm not sure. I missed something there somewhere, I guess.
Go, Mark.
Trying to think of how that would even work.
Yeah. I don't know. They had a, what was it? They had a CNC pancake maker thing one time. I don't know if those are still around or not.
I think there's one for chocolate too.
Oh, do they? Okay. All right. Peak power usage. Yeah, that's what I think. That number they always put on there. But I have seen the some of the. Now, what's the name of that one you have? One, is it an X tool?
It is. It's an X
Okay.
tool.
Yeah, that's the one I see a lot where they say it's got 10 watts of laser power, but it's really two different 5-watt diodes. One comes in this way and another one comes straight down, and somehow they use a mirror to do whatever they do, and it gives you 10 watts of power is what I've heard. Mine is not that fancy. All right, we're stuck on 50, so I guess that's all the entries we're going to get. So here we go. We're going to give away this tapered ball nose skinny Jenny. So good luck, everybody. And here we go.
Here comes. Here comes.
John Thompson.
John Thompson.
Congratulations.
Nice.
You are the winner of the
Congrats.
skinny Jenny. Congratulations, John. All right, we'll wrap this up, I guess. I'm still seeing comments about sausage here. What's going on? I missed something. Let's see. Peter says, I think the CNC mounted laser lets the same project be routed and burn if it's a combined project. Yeah, you could do that. You could carve it or whatever and then come back and highlight it with a laser. It's all about getting that zero set right when you do it, though. That's the main thing. All right, I don't see any other. All right, yeah, John's in the house. Congratulations, John. You're going to like that thing. I got a feeling. Yeah, Cody says Dave's not allowed to talk about livestock anymore.
I was going to say the same thing. We should just keep moving.
Oh, there we go. One last.
I got one in.
One last singer. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Juan, I forgot to tell you before the thing, but you can hang around a little bit. We don't really leave when we say we're leaving. We hang out backstage here a little while. So if you want to hang out and chat and catch up, that'd be good. But anyway, thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Cody from Cadence Manufacturing and Design, for sponsoring the giveaway. You're one awesome dude for doing that every week. And I guess that's going to do it. Thank you, Rob. Glad you were able to make it. Paul, always good to see you here. I appreciate you coming in. And good to see you, Juan. I'm glad you come back.
Good to be here.
On the panel here. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. All right, here we go. We're going to get out of here. Everybody have a good weekend, and we will see y'all next week. I'm going to have a special guest next week. You'll have to watch, I don't know, probably Monday or Tuesday or so. I'll do the thumbnail on it. But going to have a special guest next week. So anyway, everybody have a good one. We'll see y'all.
See ya.